Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at how to make your poetry slams unforgettable. And we're going to be looking at this idea of bringing rusty beer barrel energy to the stage.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
I know, right? I'm excited to dive into this. So we're going to be exploring this concept from Dein Poetry Slam ist wie ein...
I love that analogy. So where do we start? Like, how do we actually translate this rusty beer barrel concept into practical techniques for slam poetry?
Well, the source material emphasizes the importance of speaking slowly and clearly, even when you're delivering lines that are meant to be sarcastic or provocative.
That's interesting because you might think that to create that explosive energy, you'd want to speed up your delivery.
Right, it seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But the idea here is that by slowing down, you actually force the audience to lean in to really hang on to every word.
I see. So it's like you're building tension, creating this sense of anticipation, like the pressure building inside that beer barrel.
Exactly. And then when you do unleash those punchlines, those moments of raw truth, the impact is magnified tenfold because the audience has been primed for it.
I get it. So it's all about the control, like you're carefully crafting the buildup to create this explosive release.
Precisely. Now, the source material also talks about the importance of humor, but not just any kind of humor. We're talking about humor that's edgy, sarcastic, even a bit below the belt.
Oh, yeah. Using humor as a weapon to provoke, to challenge, to make the audience squirm a little in their seats.
Right. It's about using humor to cut through the noise, to make people think, to shake them out of their complacency.
But how do we strike that balance between being funny and being offensive? Because it's definitely a fine line to walk.
Yeah, for sure. The key is to be deliberate, to know your audience, and to be fearless in your delivery. Don't be afraid to push boundaries, to make them uncomfortable, to make them think.
So it's not about being shocking for the sake of being shocking. It's about using humor as a tool to get your message across.
Precisely. And sometimes that message might be uncomfortable. It might challenge people's beliefs. But that's okay, because art is meant to provoke. It's meant to start conversations.
I agree. So we've got the pacing down. We're using humor strategically. What else can we do to really embody this rusty beer barrel energy on stage?
Well, the source material also talks about incorporating unexpected twists and turns into your performance.
Ooh, like sudden shifts in tone or subject matter.
Exactly. You want to keep the audience guessing. Keep them on their toes, never letting them get too comfortable.
It's like those unpredictable bursts of pressure that might come from a rusty, unstable beer barrel. You never know when it's going to blow.
Exactly. So maybe you start with a humorous anecdote and then suddenly shift to a moment of raw vulnerability, or you build up to a powerful climax and then abruptly cut the tension with a self-deprecating joke.
So it's all about playing with expectations, creating a dynamic roller coaster ride for the audience.
Exactly. We want to make them laugh, make them think, make them feel, and above all, make them remember our performance long after the slam is over.
This is brilliant. I love how this rusty beer barrel metaphor is shaping up. It's like a blueprint for creating slam poetry that's raw, unpredictable, and utterly captivating.
It is, isn't it? And the best part is that it's not just about the words themselves. It's about the entire performance, the energy, the attitude, the way you command the stage.
I can't wait to see how we can put this into practice. Like, what specific techniques can we use to really bring this metaphorical rusty beer barrel to life?
Well, let's dive into that right now. In the next section, we're going to be exploring specific techniques like word choice, physicality, and vocal delivery that will help you embody that rusty beer barrel energy on stage and really blow the audience away.
Sounds like we're about to crack this thing wide open.
We are. We're about to unleash the power of the rusty beer barrel. So stay tuned, folks, because things are about to get explosive. Okay, so we're talking about bringing that rusty beer barrel energy to the stage and making our slams unforgettable.
Right. And one of the ways we can do that is by playing with the audience's expectations a bit, throwing in some curveballs.
Like how? Give me an example.
Well, imagine you're on stage, you've got the mic, and you ask the audience a question, something seemingly innocent, something maybe even a bit cliche.
Okay, I'm picturing it like I ask, who here believes in the power of love? Something like that.
Exactly. And just as they're about to give you that predictable, heartwarming response, you hit them with something completely unexpected.
Like what? Instead of saying, yes, love conquers all, I say,
Yeah, instead of that, you say something like, Love? Oh, please. Love is just a chemical reaction designed to make us procreate. Pass the hand sanitizer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. It's like a bait and switch.
Yeah, you're lulling them into a sense of security, and then bam, you hit them with a dose of cynicism or sarcasm.
So it's about subverting expectations, keeping the audience on their toes.
Exactly. Because when you do that, you create tension, intrigue, and a sense that anything could happen.
But wouldn't that risk alienating the audience? What if they came expecting something more sincere, more heartfelt?
Well, that's the thing with this rusty beer barrel approach. It's not about pleasing everyone. It's about making a statement, even if it's a statement that some people might find uncomfortable.
Right. It's about being bold, being provocative, taking risks.
Exactly. And sometimes the most unforgettable moments are the ones that challenge our perspectives, that make us think differently.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we're not just trying to entertain, we're trying to make people think, to make them feel something, even if it's a bit of discomfort.
Exactly. We're using discomfort as a tool to get people's attention, to make them really listen to what we have to say.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to slam poetry. It's not just about connecting with the audience on an emotional level. It's about using those emotions, those expectations, to create something unexpected, something powerful.
Right. You're not ignoring emotions. You're weaponizing them. You're using them to create an experience that's raw, unpredictable, and utterly captivating.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we've talked about pacing humor, subverting expectations. What else can we do to really embody this rusty beer barrel energy?
Well, the source material also emphasizes the importance of being bold, even outrageous in your word choice.
So instead of using flowery language or poetic metaphors, we should be aiming for something more direct, more confrontational.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to use slang colloquialisms, even curse words, if it serves the purpose of your poem.
Wow, okay. So it's about stripping away the pretense, the politeness, and getting straight to the heart of the matter.
Right. The goal is to create an impact, to make the audience feel your words viscerally.
This is going to be a challenge for me. I tend to gravitate toward more lyrical language, but I can see how this raw, unfiltered approach could really amplify the impact of my slams.
It's all about experimenting with different styles and voices, finding what works for you and for the message you're trying to convey.
Okay, so how do we find that balance between being bold and being offensive? We don't want to alienate the audience completely.
It's a tightrope walk, for sure. The key is to be intentional with your word choices. Ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve with this language? Am I using it to shock for the sake of shocking, or am I using it to make a deeper point?
So it's not about being gratuitously offensive. It's about using strong language to drive home a message, to create an emotional reaction.
Exactly. It's about using language as a tool to provoke thought, to challenge assumptions, to make the audience feel something, even if that something is discomfort.
This rusky beer barrel approach is really starting to resonate with me. It's about embracing the raw, the unconventional, the unexpected, and it's about having the courage to stand out, to make a statement, to demand to be heard.
That's the spirit. Now let's talk about physicality. How can we use our bodies to bring this energy to life on stage?
Okay, yeah, because we're not just disembodied voices, we're performers. We have bodies we can use to express ourselves.
Exactly. Think about how that rusty beer barrel might move. If it were about to burst, it would shake, rattle, maybe even leap off the ground.
So we're not just standing still behind the microphone, we're embodying that explosive energy through our movements and gestures.
Exactly. Your body language should be as dynamic and unpredictable as your words. Use your hands, your facial expressions, your entire body to bring your poetry to life.
I'm starting to visualize it now. I'm on stage pacing back and forth, my voice booming, my hands gesturing wildly, my eyes piercing the audience.
That's the energy we're looking for. Embrace the chaos, the energy, the raw physicality of the performance.
This is so exciting. I've never thought about slam poetry in this way before. It's not just about the words, it's about the entire performance, the energy, the attitude, the way you command the stage.
That's the beauty of slam poetry. It's a multi-sensory experience that allows you to connect with the audience on a visceral level.
I'm feeling inspired. This rusty beer barrel metaphor is a game changer. It's given me a whole new perspective on how to approach my slam poetry, how to make it more impactful, more engaging, more explosive.
And remember, even if you feel like that rusty, neglected beer barrel right now, don't underestimate the power you hold within. Your voice matters, your story matters, and the world needs to hear what you have to say.
So true. So what's the final takeaway here? What's the one thing we should all remember when we step onto that stage?
Be authentic. Be yourself. Let that raw, unfiltered energy shine through. because that's what's going to resonate with the audience, that genuine raw energy that comes from being true to yourself.
It's like that rusty beer barrel. It's not trying to be anything it's not. It's just there.
Right.
And it's full of this untamed potential.
Exactly. And when you embrace that authenticity, when you let go of trying to be perfect or please everyone, that's when your poetry becomes truly powerful.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like I've been given a whole new set of tools to work with.
And remember, it's not just about the tools, it's about the mindset, the willingness to be bold, to be vulnerable, to be uncomfortable.
Right, because that's where the magic happens, when we step outside of our comfort zones, when we embrace the chaos and let our words explode onto the stage.
Speaking of resources, you mentioned a book earlier that might be helpful for our listeners who want to explore this approach further.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's called Poetry Master, Poeser Craft in 7 Tage.
That's the one. It's packed with practical exercises and prompts that can help you develop your slam poetry skills and find your unique voice.
Perfect. So if you're ready to unleash your inner rusty beer barrel, I highly recommend checking out Poetry Master Poesy Craft in 7 Tage.
It's a game changer for sure.
Okay, so as we wrap up this explosive deep dive, I want to leave you with a challenge. What's your rusty beer barrel? What's that thing inside you that's just waiting to burst out onto the stage?
Find it, nurture it, and don't be afraid to let it loose.
Because the world needs to hear your voice, your story, your unique brand of rusty beer barrel energy.
So go out there, embrace the chaos, and make some noise.
That's it for this deep dive, folks. Until next time, keep writing, keep performing, and keep pushing those creative boundaries. Peace out.